24, your local election headquarters.
Well, Governor Newsom setting his sights on making California the first in the nation to spend tens of billions of dollars to combat climate change. Would a majority of Californians be in lockstep with the governor for using the state's surplus to do it? It does promise to be an action-packed month at the state capitol for lawmakers here in the Valley as well. So let's welcome in our panel this week. Code for America CEO, former gubernatorial candidate and former national political advisor for Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign, Amanda Renteria. Also, the former state GOP chair and U.S. Senate candidate, acclaimed author, Fox News and Newsmax contributor, Thomas Del Beccaro. Good to have you both back with me on Sunday Morning Matters. So let's get right to it, guys. You just heard from Caballero there. She does not support Governor Newsom dipping into the surplus, $54 billion to combat climate change. This is what Newsom is vowing. Amanda, I'll start with you. This doesn't appear that the legislature, at least the state chair of finance, is on board with this yet.
That's right. And it makes sense. She hasn't seen the details. It came out just recently. And so it's incredibly prudent, especially in the uncertainty we are in right now, to ask for what are the details. And that's quite different than what you're seeing at the national level, where you do have details of the climate bill that is being presented there. 5 million jobs and clean energy jobs. And so I think what happens here, if the details come out and you do begin to see a real change in how people can benefit from climate change, I think you'll have a change of heart across the state. I will say this, though. $150 billion is spent seasonally, at least on wildfires, which is an impact of climate change. And so when we're looking at these big numbers, I think we're paying either way. It's just a matter of whether you're going to pay when there's a disaster, or we're going to be proactive and think about innovative ways to create jobs and actually improve quality of life right now.
And Thomas, we'll transition to you from what Amanda said. Also, we know that the Vice President, Kamala Harris, is looking to push $1 billion, I should say, of grants to also help get out in front of some of these natural disasters as well.
Listen, the cause of inflation today is that government spending nationwide is 44% of the economy. Spending more, government spending more, is only going to fuel inflation, not just the fires you're talking about. And it is dubious to think that $54 billion in the pen of or desires of Gavin Newsom is going to end the wildfire problem, which California has and virtually no other state does. If they want to spend money thinning out wooded areas, that makes the most sense. Even if you blame what's going on climate change, the fact is the fuel is the overwooded areas throughout the state. And so you must address that first instead of thinking you can change the temperature by 0.75 over the next 75 years. So I don't think this will actually help voters in California. They're suffering the highest inflation in the country. But I do think it'll fuel Gavin Newsom's presidential ambitions, that's for sure.
You know, and we also heard from David Vallideo, and Amanda, I'll come back to you on this one, where he said, you know, where Governor Newsom sent that letter to President Biden about climate change and attacking it, where congressional Republicans and climate deniers, they're the ones that continue to be the polluters of all of this. But then David Vallideo says it's a Democrat-led state, Democrat-led House and Senate. So who does it fall on?
Well, listen, I think what you're hearing from Democrats nationally, also statewide, is to say you can either have one of two choices. Either we're just going to accept what's happening in climate and not do anything about it, or we're going to try and actually improve things, not just for now, but for future generations. I hear you. It might not have an impact exactly right now to be able to invest in clean energy sources, but there's no doubt that we have to start investing in our future, making sure that places like the Central Valley aren't heating up, that people do have alternatives, that we are actually part of the solution and part of the answer. And listen, I will never bet against the innovative thinking that we have here in California, but also around the country to figure out how to tackle big challenges, not only for now, but for the future of our kids as well.
You also heard from Caballero, and Thomas, I'll come back to you, clearly saying that Governor Newsom should look into California as an untapped resource for energy independence?
Listen,
Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
food security and energy security are essential here. The worst policy in American history is our energy policies starting in the late 60s, where we sent money to the Middle East that wound up resulting in larger defense costs for us and taking money out of American pockets. We need to be energy independent. We should not be importing food from China and Mexico that use pesticides that we don't want in our food, but by killing off farming in the Central Valley, that's exactly what you're getting. What I did notice about what the senator said, she didn't say one word about the $27 billion in bond money we have voted for over the last 15 years, including the recent $7.5 billion to build 2 reservoirs. Where are those? So they're not actually solving some of these issues. We shouldn't allow all the water to go out to the ocean, and it's hurting our farmers. And the Central Valley, helped stop worldwide hunger, and now we're losing Central Valley farms. Makes no sense to me.
All right, we got to cut it there, but we have a lot more to come. I know I mentioned San Clemente. That is a city in Southern California. Their council set to make an abortion ban in their own city. We're going to talk about that and attack ads coming up in our second panel. But first, recession or inflation, one of the top economic forecasters in the country, on what comes next after a 4th rate hike. Dr. Joseph Penbera joins me next.